So today is November 21st, 2019. Just going over the general sump setup I have built for my DIY freshwater aquarium. What you're looking at is an old 55-gallon fish tank that I've repurposed into my sump filtration system. Starting from the right moving left, you can see the white PVC pipe entering into the system, where it first goes into 3 chambers of coarse filter pads. From there, the water makes its way through up into the wet dry system, mainly wet though. When the sump is set at its correct level, about a third to half of the biological media sits out of the water. So what I did for that was I used a piece of plexiglass where I drilled a whole bunch of holes into it, as you can see, just to help allow water flow through. And then what I'm doing with all my filter floss on the top is I'm shingling it just to help catch any of that fine particulate matter that made its way through the first 3 chambers of mechanical filtration. So from there, from the mechanical filtration, it makes its way into the biological filtration, which it's like 8 gallons worth of biological bioballs, the plastic bioballs. From there, water passes into the return chamber, but first it gets heated up inside this biological chamber. You can sort of see the heater in there. It's got a weird glare, so you see more of the zigzag pattern from my carpet. But from there, it goes into the return chamber for the sump filtration, where my pump that runs at 900 gallons per hour, but due to the essentially 3.5 to, let's say 3.5 vertical feet of lift that's required from the pump, it comes out more to like 840 gallons an hour. So my DIY fish display tank is essentially 160 gallons. So really I'm getting like somewhere around 4 times an hour the water is filtered through the entire system. So from the previous shot, you can see the plumbing comes out of the wall, 90s into a union, 90s 2 more times just to get towards the center of the tank because there's bracing at the top preventing me from going straight up and over. But from there is a T, and then after it 2 ball valves. That leads into 2 different overflow styles. One is a more generic jet, and the other one is a spray bar, as you can see. On the spray bar, you can see I have a anti-siphon hole just to help prevent, say there was a power failure, the water wouldn't drain all the way down to the bottom of the spray bar compared to, well, it only gets about the bottom of that opening. I mean, in a 160-gallon aquarium, that's like somewhere around like 10-15 gallons of water goes back into the sump. Here we're looking at the overflow structure that I made for my tank. What's at the top is a dish drain cover. I need to put that on there because my Bashir likes to ride down there from time to time like a log flume. So to keep her safe and out of the sump, simple solution, covers the top, prevents any fish from getting in there. So I've got this design off the internet. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find it. But essentially, the water flows down the drain, down the pipe, around, back over. There's a T in the back side there to go into the portion of the standpipe to allow air to go back down the pipe. Don't really understand all the physics on it, but it works. From there, through union, so I can separate this and service it, and then back to the sump. We're here on the very end of the overflow structure. What I have done is taken it from that union through the wall, 90s, and then takes it down in the standpipe when it enters the tank, or enters the sump. What I've done is I've glued all the joints except this one here, because with this being glued onto this elbow, wouldn't have been able to take it out of the tank and at the wall at the same time. Really easy to clean. Take the union part, take this portion of pipe out, pull it back through the wall, surface it, put it back together. It's complete. And that is my sump filtration system.